Commanders. We are back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. This video is going to be a continuation or a sequel or a mirror of things that I dislike about Nikke video. If you guys haven't done so already, it should appear in the title card to the upper right or at the end of the video, whichever one it is. But if you guys haven't done so, pause this video, open up a new tab, watch that video, then come back. But if you guys don't care, that's fine too. This video is going to be what I do like about Nikke. We were going on a little bit of a negative streak there, but now we got to bring back the positive about the game. And after that video, and the next video after that I published, I love this game. I genuinely do. I log in every day to do my dailies on both my main account and my free-to-play account. Even though that summer event just destroyed all the free time I had, I still love logging in to the game. So without further ado, let's get into the things I do like about Nikke. Number one is the story. I played Genshin Impact around the launch period. I'm not a day one player for Genshin Impact, but the story didn't really hook me. It was pretty slow at the beginning, and then ultimately I just dropped it. Honkai Star Rail, the story was interesting in the beginning, but it felt like it kind of dragged on the first planet. I forgot what it was called, but it felt like it did kind of drag on. Dropped that game. I played Blue Archive. Was pretty fun to play. I did like the story. It's just that I have way too many gachas and other time commitments to where I could fully invest myself into the story for Blue Archive. I know that a lot of people are saying it gets crazier after a certain point, so I'm like, okay, you know, that is a incentive for me to continue on with the story, but I wasn't really feeling it at that point in time. But with Nikke, the tutorial in and of itself just made me want to keep playing the game, because you're introduced to Marion, everyone's favorite, who literally brings you back to life on the battlefield. Throughout the tutorial story, Marion is taking care of you and you are taking care of her. Right away, you are spending time with her. She's very, very nice. She's very, very sweet. And then at the end, it's just the waterworks. And for her to meet her demise at the end of the tutorial, for me, and for a lot of people I've asked, and for a lot of people that I've seen play the game, is the point where they got hooked. And then after that, the story gets crazy. You are introduced to the counters, Anise and Rapi. They both start off pretty but literally within the next chapter after you meet them, a little more of their personality starts to show. Then the story ramps up. Now, if you haven't really continued with the story, or you just kept hitting skip and didn't watch any of the story, there's this great YouTuber. His name is Pyrax. I probably pronounced his name wrong. I'll have his channel up so you guys can spell it right away, and then you guys can make fun of me on how I pronounce it. But if you skip any of the story because it's a time commitment, I understand. You could go to this guy's channel. He summarizes the Nikke chapters and a lot of the event stories, Nikke episodes, the advised episodes, and he has done a few VA interviews on his channel as well. He's a great dude if you want to get a quick refresher or just a breakdown of a chapter story in like 15-20 minutes around that time frame. So I highly recommend, if you haven't gotten invested into the story, or if you just skipped the story, go watch his channel, put it on in the background, just listen to it, because the story in and of itself for Nikke is just really good. It's kind of hard to go into all of the story without just spending 3 hours talking about it. The story is great. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't read the story to do it. We came for the boobs, but stayed for the lore. The next point that I'm going to talk about is the communication from the development team, and it leads into the generosity of the game in and of itself. There are a plethora of gacha games, and they have surveys sent out asking, how do you guys feel about XYZ? How do you guys feel about this event? What you guys would like done in the future? And I'm going to let you know, it seems like a majority of gacha games just send it out just to send it out, just so they could have something on the back end to show someone in their monthly earnings reports or monthly revenues, saying, hey, you know, we have this much engagement to show that people are invested into the game. It falls on deaf ears. It seems like surveys are just a way for them to boast to shareholders or whoever, the higher ups or the publishers. But with surveys in Nikke, they do ask very specific questions, like returning characters. This is months ago, and I say it every other video now, but a couple months ago, as of this recording, this is before the Christmas event came back. 2023 Christmas event where we had Ludmilla and Mika as featured units. They asked us, how do you guys feel about limited time units coming back? And they gave us 3 options about how they should return. It's like, should they be on the banner? Should they be in the golden ticket shop? And then a third option. I don't remember at this point. I clicked yes to all 3 options because it's good for newer players to get an opportunity to get these units. Veteran players that haven't MLB'd or 3-star them to 3-star them, me included. So one direct link to them saying, hey, we are listening, XYZ. And then with the sim room overclock, personally, I like the event, and they have been getting a lot of decent feedback as they've been talking about in the developer notes. They're taking their time with it. They want to make sure that when it launches, that players are accommodated correctly and decently. So there's that as well. God bless their soul. We have been complaining about co-op raid and the people who throw in co-op raid. They have acknowledged that people are annoyed with co-op raid because they don't want to sit there, which is fine. And justifiably, they have done something about it. If you've hit the 3.6 million target range, that you're able to just leave. They did something about that too, which is a good and a bad thing, but they are listening. And then the generosity of the dev team, every new story event that comes out, you're able to get 10 free rainbow tickets and 20 free blue tickets. Every story event that comes out. I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty damn good, including all the other incentives that they give, like the challenge mode with the story event where they give you more blue tickets and more gold molds depending on how high you get in those challenge stages. And they give a decent amount of core dust or battle data for clearing it every day. That's another thing that they received from the surveys, that the challenge stages didn't feel as rewarding as they should. Now they're giving you more incentives to play it, which is really good. I really do like those incentives. And then if we hit #1 in any category for Nikke, or sometimes they just give it out to us for just us breathing. They give us a free rainbow ticket 10 pull. Like, hey, you over there, you had a bad day, here's a free 10 pull. It's crazy how generous they are and how they have their finger on the pulse with the game. They do address a lot of the community's feedback in the developer notes, which I do like as well. Developer notes come out every 2 months or before every major update or every major event that happens. That is a good tell that they are actively listening. They are active with the community itself. Since we're talking about generosity, we have to talk about the gacha rates. When you summon on any banner, every time you do a single summon, you get a 4% rate on a single summon. So 1 unit equals a 4% rate. A 4% rate for anytime you do a single summon is just a ludicrous rate. I haven't seen a rate that good in any other game. There might be like a couple, but Nikke giving a 4% rate on a single pull, that is just crazy. This is just an average. I'm not saying everyone's going to hit it. There have been times where people haven't hit it, and there has been video proof of me not hitting the average. However, the average SSR rate that you should be hitting is every 3 10 pulls, you should be getting an SSR. That's the average because every slot is 4%. You do a 10 pull, each slot is 4%. I know I'm not doing the math correctly, but all together, that should be around a 40%. That should be out of 22 pulls or 3 10 pulls. If you do 23 single pulls or 3 multis, that's around the time frame you should get an SSR. That's the average. Let's just pull up Fate Grand Order for an example. Anytime you pull a single summon on Fate Grand Order, that's a 1% rate for an SSR. I don't play Fate Grand Order because I love my life, and I don't know about you guys, but I rather have a 4% rate on a single summon than a 1% rate. And this is one of the reasons why I believe that Nikke is one of the best gacha games to play free to play, and one of the easiest games to stay free to play is the friend point banner or the social point banner. That banner, besides pilgrims and limited time units, you are able to pull all the Nikkes that are available in the game on that friend point banner, which is crazy because usually when you have in-game friend point systems, the banners that they have associated with that friend point system is just straight up garbage because they put some whatever units on it. Units that it's like, you know, whatever. It's good for beginner players, I guess. As you keep playing the game and as your account or your box gets stronger, that banner becomes useless. But in Nikke, that friend point banner is just as valuable as the other banners. I have gotten away with a lot of SSRs on that banner. If you've been playing the game for about a month or some considerable amount of time, you have snuck away with an SSR. And if you haven't snuck away with an SSR yet, you get the spare body parts, so you could go into the shop, so you could redeem gold molds as well. So even if you haven't gotten an SSR yet, you're able to get an SSR or a chance to roll an SSR through those gold molds. So it's win-win situation. That's all well and good, all the previous points, but how does the game play? The gameplay is a cover-based shooter. I say that because you're moving in and out of cover. You're not really moving anywhere else during the gameplay besides you going to battles on a map. But the active gameplay is very fun. I like the gameplay of Nikke. You're able to manually play the game and automatically play the game. Clearing story mode, or when I'm clearing Lost Sector, or anything that I know that my Nikkes are at a decent power level, I let it autoplay, and then I do something on the side, maybe grind another gacha, maybe play Dokkan, maybe watch a YouTube video, maybe watch someone stream. I have it autoplay and my units just take care of business. Just because it's autoplay doesn't mean that manual play is discouraged. You are actually encouraged to manually play the game through the EX stages that appear in the campaign map that forces you to play manual. However, you are able to get 300 gems. It rewards you pretty decently just playing manual. And if you are playing solo raid, co-op raid, or union raid, those game modes are very, very particular with how you want to play the game. If you want the best possible score, you have to manual. That just separates the cream from the crop. It's fine if you just want to autoplay, but if you want to see how high or how strong your account is, solo raid is actually one of the best ways to see how far your account can go or how strong you have built your units. The manual play shows a mastery of how good your team composition is. For me, I'm usually showing up top 5-7% for my main account. For my free-to-play account, the recent solo raid we had was the Golden Kraken, which is the summer event, which Summer Roseanne and Summer Sakura came out for. I've gotten, I don't particularly remember, I might have a screenshot. The game awards you for playing both manual and auto. Now. That's all said and good. The game has all this, and that. Has one of the best gacha rates. The devs talk to you. The story is good. But that doesn't matter if the community is toxic. I'm sorry to say, guys, contrary to popular Twitter belief, this game is not just all Coomers. The community in and of itself for Nikke, I know that there are bad apples within every community. It happens. The general consensus of the Nikke community is very helpful, very nice, and very welcoming. I have not met anyone who is not willing to welcome a new player in. If someone within the community asks, like, hey, you know, I'm not sure what to do, XYZ, ABC, the community is very responsive. The community tries to help a lot. Literally, you turn over a rock, there are like 50 of us right there waiting to help. That's what I've seen in the community. Someone in the community wants to know if this character is worth summoning for. The community usually has a general consensus of if you should summon for a unit, which I do like. It shows that everyone's on the same page with how you should be spending your premium currency in this game. It's not just new character, summon. And it's like, no, don't do that, because that will be the main reason why you quit the game. The community, you know, looks out for themselves whenever we have, and I point out, contrary to Twitter belief, it's not just Twitter, but it's usually the people who judge a book by its cover that sees Nikke and then it's like, oh yeah, this is Coomer bait. And I'm like, bro, have you tried playing the game? Like, I don't know about you. The girls are nice, but the story though, the gameplay, the gacha rates. When Bunny Soda came out, the Genshin community tried to attack Bunny Soda, and I'm like, bro, why? People are saying, oh, this is why I'll never play the game, XYZ. And I'm like, bro, we didn't want you to play the game regardless. The game is just all flash and all boobs and ass and thighs and no substance, but they haven't played the game. And then it's like with the Blue Archive community as well. It's what the Blue Archive call gatekeeping their own community. So it doesn't allow tourists in. It's like, oh, you just expose yourself to everyone who has an interest in sharing the game, and it's like, oh, well, let's just go this way or find the next person. Don't worry, guys. So I do like that community aspect of Nikke. Shout out to the Blue Archive guys, the Kani gang. And that leads me to my last point that I want to share is the character designs. It goes hand in hand with the community when I said Kani Archive or the Kani gang. This game has so many different characters and character designs that one character will tickle your fancy. Whether you're Kani gang, big mommy energy, whether you have sickness for the thickness, or bunny girls, or swimsuits, or doctors, nurses, furry. This game caters to so many different demographics of how people like the visuals or how people like the characters. I love noir, I love naga. If you want to talk about representation, dark skinned queens, right there. If you love thick girls or chubby girls, you have Anise and Elig. They're right there for you. Both of them just creates a cavalcade of R34 art. If you like the ditzy girl, Soda's there. If you like a very active, very energetic girl, Alice is right there. Like there's so many different girls in the game. Caters to a lot of people's fancies. And I do have to commend Chef Up for that because they could have just kept doing cookie cutter, big booba, very voluptuous women all day, every day. But they don't. There's a diversity of characters that are rolled out. So I do like that as well. One of the main reasons why I keep playing this game because I want to like, oh, I wonder what the next character looks like. Those are the things that I do love about this game. This video is most likely going to be longer than the things I don't like about my Nikke video. If not, then oh boy. Thank you everyone for taking the time out to watch this video. Y'all have been great. And if you guys just skip to the end, I do love this game. I play it every day. I do spend money on this game. If you're financially stable to do so, $5-10 buying the mission passes, that's fine. Don't spend more than what you are able to because this is just a hobby at the end of the day. It's something I like and I hope that I'm able to relay that and communicate with everyone that I can about how much I do like this game, everyone who has watched this video. So thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for listening to a stupid man ramble about why he likes 2D waifus. That's going to be the end for this video. Thank you all for being here. Y'all have been awesome. Like, comment, subscribe. Would appreciate all that. And I'll see you guys again on the next Goddess of Victory Nikke video. But until then, bye 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 bye.